A warm welcome to all my grade 8 learners and all other interested parties. Welcome to our radio program, Accounting for Grade 8. My name is Natalia and I'll be here to take you through today's lesson. Please have a pen and a notebook and be ready to take important notes during the lesson. Please note, at the end of the lesson, you are expected to know the purpose of different source documents. Well, in businesses, accounting information are usually recorded by following the accounting cycles or steps. An accountant must follow these steps in order to record the business information accurate and reliable. Well, source document is the second step in accounting cycle. As you can remember, we have learned what is all about a transaction, which is the first step in accounting cycle, and other accounting concept and terminology.
Oh yes, a transaction is the action between a buyer and a seller which happens in a business at a certain time, of which the value of money is recorded in the books of the business.
As Martha has explained, all the information of each transaction has to appear in the source document of the business, meaning that the source documents are documents from which transactions are recorded in the book of first entry for the proof that the transaction took place.
Teacher, before we proceed, may I ask something, please?
Yes, please, Anna, you can go ahead.
Does that mean when a seller and a buyer exchange goods or services for money, a source document should be completed?
Yes, you are right. For every business transaction, a source document needs to be completed. The following are the different types of source documents found in the business. We have a receipt. Well, a receipt is a source document issued for money received. Whenever a business receives money, a receipt is issued as a proof of money received. Businesses could receive money from the owner as capital contribution, or from a customer, or from a financial institution, for example, FNB, Bank Windhoek, or etc., or from a tenant for rent.
So my father is a businessman, and yesterday he received 2,000 from our tenant for accommodation. Afterward, he wrote a receipt and he gave it to the tenant. Does it mean that was a receipt?
Yes, Martha, that was a receipt issued by your father as a proof of payment for the tenant.
As Martha's father issued a receipt for the tenant, where will he find the information about that transaction for future reference?
Wow, what a good question. The original receipt is issued to a person who made the payment, which is a tenant. And the duplicate is kept in the business book to be used as a source document in order to be able to record the transaction in the book of first entry, which is the cash book.
So when my father received money from his customers, for example, from the tenants, every time he received a lot of cash, I used to assist him by counting that money. And after that, he would take that money to FNB for deposit. During holidays, I used to go with him to the bank.
But Martha, why does your father have to take the business money to FNB?
Well, I think it's because he believes keeping money in the business premises is not safe.
Well, Martha, you are right. But then, what are the proceedings when it comes to the depositing of money at the bank?
Well, at the bank, I also help my father to complete a piece of slip that he takes along with money to the bank teller. And that is what we call a deposit slip.
Oh, so Martha, you know how a deposit slip looks like?
Yes, miss. I know very well how a deposit slip looks like.
This is very interesting.
A deposit slip is a small paper form that a bank customer completes when depositing money into a bank account. It contains the date, the name of the depositor or customer, the depositor's account number, the amount being deposited, and the signature of the depositor or the customer's signature, in other words.
Well done, Martha. Well, a deposit slip is a source document used to deposit money into the business current account.
When my father sells goods for cash to his customers from the shop, he uses the cash register for recording each transaction at a point of sales.
I think I'm getting it now. Every time I go for shopping, when I am paying, the teller has to scan the items and the cash register machine is always making a sound. Does it mean that the cash register is registering the prices for the items that I bought?
Yes, Anna. The sound from the cash register records the item's price, but also the number of items bought.
Thank you, Miss, for the clarification.
The cash register roll is a source document used to record each transaction processed on the cash register at the point of sale, in order to obtain a daily total of the cash sales of the business. Well, a business issue a cash register slip as a proof for goods sold by cash. The original slip is given to the customer while the copy remains in the cash register. At the end of the day, the teller will compare the number of items bought with the amount of cash received.
So in this time of COVID-19, everyone has a fear of contracting a virus. My father instructed his customers to pay him with their debit card or via EFT. Afterward, they can send their proof of payments to him via email.
What is the meaning of EFT?
Good question. EFT stands for Electronic Funds Transfer. In short, we use the word EFT. Now, EFT is a method of sending money from one bank account directly to another bank account, for example, using internet banking. Most businesses or individual uses the EFT system to pay their business bills, for example, water and electricity, telephone, etc.
Does it mean that somebody must have money on his or her account in order to use the EFT method?
Yes, Anna. A person who is sending money must have enough money in his or her bank account in order to be able to transfer money. If there is no enough money in his or her bank account, the bank will not approve the transaction and the proceeding of the payment. Now let's look at another source document, which is now the POP, and POP stands for Proof of Payment. Now, a proof of payment is a source document received for a debit card payments or EFT, which is now Electronic Funds Transfer.
At the end of the month, my father used to receive his business bank statement from the bank.
But what exactly is the purpose of a bank statement?
The purpose of the bank statement is to outline all the transactions that took place in the business current account. The bank then sends out a statement to its clients at the end of the month. This statement shows the amount of money the business has in its current account, the money spent or paid out from its current account, the amount received or deposited, and the amount and the balance available on the current account at the end of the year. Thank you very much, class. We have come to the end of our lesson. But before I let you go, let us summarize what we have learned today. Today, we have learned different types of source documents. Martha, can you mention a few?
Yes, miss, I think I can. The first one is a receipt, which is a source document issued for money received. So a business could receive money from the owner as capital contribution, or from debtors, or also from financial institutions. Another is a deposit slip, which is also a source document completed when money is paid into the business current bank account.
Today we've also learned the following. Number 1, a cash register roll, which is a document used to record each transaction processed on the cash register at a point of sale. Number 2, which is a proof of payment, which is a document received for a debit card, payment, or electronic fund transfer. And the last one, a bank statement, which is a document from the bank outlining all the transactions that took place in the current account of the business account holder.
Well, before we say goodbye, here are the question for the day. Explain the purpose of the following different source documents, which are: number 1, a proof of payment; number 2, a receipt; number 3, a cash register roll; number 4, a deposit slip. This lesson was written by Victoria Nangobe. Until next time, ciao.
This program was brought to you by NAMCOL with funding from the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture and the Commonwealth of Learning.